Indonesia and even worldwide, there are millions of children dreaming of their future. They're the next generation, full of potential and joy. However, sadly, there's a significant issue obstructing their dreams, and that is stunting. Stunting is a growth and development disorder in children caused by chronic malnutrition and recurrent infections characterized by their height or stature being below the standard. Stunting isn't just a statistical problem. It's the real-life story of millions of Indonesian children experiencing delayed physical and mental growth. Stunting isn't only a health problem, but also a serious human rights issue. It's a global crisis affecting millions of children every year. To understand stunting, we need to highlight the factors influencing it, the factors inhibiting Indonesian children from reaching their potential. In this way, we will carry out research to determine what factors cause stunting in Indonesia with the research modern cases of stunting toddlers in Indonesia using the Conway Maxwell Poisson Regression method. One innovative method used to determine the factors influencing stunting in Indonesian children is by conducting statistical analysis. The statistical method suitable for this stunting case is the Conway Maxwell Poisson Regression. Conway Maxwell Poisson Regression is a statistical method used to measure the relationship between independent and dependent variables when the standard Poisson distribution is inadequate. When dealing with data that exhibits extreme variability, also known as overdispersed data, the standard Poisson distribution may not suffice. That's why we need Conway Maxwell Poisson regression, because data on stunting can sometimes be as unpredictable as very unusual weather, sometimes a lot, sometimes a little. Data regarding stunting often has high variability, and this method helps address that issue. Regarding stunting data, the Ministry of Health announced the results of the Indonesian Nutritional Status Survey, where the prevalence of stunting in Indonesia fell from 24.4% in 2021 to 21.6% in 2022. The government targets reducing the stunting rate to 14% by the end of 2024. To achieve this target, the government must strive to reduce the stunting rate by 3.8% every year. Thus, the hope of this research is that it can help the government to reduce stunting rates more optimally, so stunting cases in Indonesia can improve. Based on observations, in 2022, the province with the most stunting cases in Indonesia is West Java province, with a total of approximately 3 million cases. What are the factors that cause stunting in toddlers in Indonesia? By using the Conway Maxwell Poisson regression method, we can find out what factors cause stunting, but there are several assumptions that we must fulfill. Here are the steps to be taken to obtain a model that can be used to predict stunting cases in Indonesia. The first is to carry out a multicollinearity test. It was found that the VIF value of all independent variables had a value smaller than 10. Which means that there were no multicollinearity problems found in the data. There was no relationship between each independent variable. Next is the Poisson distribution test. Testing is carried out using the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. Based on the RStudio software output for the Kolmogorov-Smirnov test results, it shows p-value equals 0.1624. which means p-value 0.1624 alpha 0.5, which means that the sample comes from population with Poisson distribution. Only one of the final tests is the equidispersion assumption test. In the case of Poisson regression, there's often violation of the equidispersion assumption. To find out whether the case is experiencing overdispersion or underdispersion, it can be detected by calculating the estimated value of dispersion. Based on the RStudio software output, the estimated dispersion value is obtained from the residual deviance value divided by the degrees of freedom, namely 76,605.96, where the estimated dispersion value is more than 1, meaning that the data experiences overdispersion. In resolving violated assumptions, one alternative to overcome this is to use the Conway Maxwell Poisson regression model. If this violation is not resolved, it will result in a high increase in the standard error and reduce the efficiency of parameter estimation. so that the conclusions obtained will be invalid. After all the tests have been carried out, we can determine the model for stunting cases using the Conway Maxwell Poisson Regression method. Based on the RStudio software output, can be seen where the significance level is 0.5, so the decision can be made that there are 6 variables that have a significant influence on cases of stunting in toddlers, namely exclusive breastfeeding, complete immunization, administration of vitamin A, low birth weight, malnutrition, and diarrhea. After obtaining the results from the partial test, the Conway Maxwell Poisson regression model is obtained with the parameters that influence the model, namely as follows. The model explains that the estimated value is -2.455, which means that the average toddler experiencing stunting will remain at exponent -2.455 0.4000. 999 equals 0.415 without being influenced by other variables. What if it is influenced by several variables? The estimated value is 0.81, which means that for every additional 1 toddler who is given exclusive breastfeeding, it will be proportional to the increase in the average number of toddlers experiencing stunting by exponent 0.81 0.4000. 999 equals 0.500,000. 108 are equivalent to 1 toddler. Likewise with other variables that influence stunting, for every addition of 1 toddler, the influencing variables are proportional to the increase or decrease in the average number of toddlers experiencing stunting by 1 toddler. Based on the results of analysis through scientific research by applying the Conway Maxwell Poisson regression method, which is known to be able to overcome data over dispersion, so that through the research results it can be used as information advice and evaluation material for the government to reduce the incidence of stunting and target an accelerated reduction in the prevalence of stunting in Indonesia by paying attention to the number of variable indicators: toddlers, exclusive breastfeeding, complete immunization, administration of vitamin A, low birth weight, poor nutrition, and toddler diarrhea. These factors are what cause the rise and fall of the prevalence of stunting in Indonesia. Therefore, the government must always pay attention to the community, especially mothers who have children under 5. Using the model that has been obtained will definitely help the government in targeting the acceleration of stunting reduction in Indonesia. It is hoped that the research results will provide innovation and a solution for the government in Indonesia so that it can use this information to develop health policies that are more effective in reducing stunting rates in Indonesia. Together, we can tackle stunting and ensure that every child has the opportunity to grow and develop healthily. Thank you for all of our attention and support. Together, we can make children's dreams come true.